Alright, y'all, so, sorry, I don't know if y'all can see that, but we are back with another Bible reading. I'm on Joshua 15, page 192 to 193 to Joshua 16. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to read 4 pages today to get 4 pages done, and then we'll see how it is. So I'm just going to start this page, and then we'll just see how far I can get. I'm in the house today because I woke up kind of late. I woke up at like 12 to 1, so it is what it is. But I'm just going to read as much as I can, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll pick it up, where I left off. Hopefully outside. It's getting a little cloudy out there, so I'm hoping it's not going to rain or anything tomorrow, but, we'll just see how it is. So for now, I'm just going to start. 2.5 tribes on the east side of the Jordan River. The tribes of Joseph had become 2 separate tribes. Manasseh and Ephraim. And the Levites were given no land at all except cities in which to live and the surrounding pastures for their cattle. So the distribution of the land was in strict accordance with the Lord's instructions to Moses. Oh, the Lord's directions to Moses. Sorry about that. The land given to Caleb, a diligent, not too sure what that word is, but a Delegation from the tribe of Judah, led by Caleb, came to Joshua in Gilgal. Remember what the Lord said to Moses about you when he... Sorry about that. Okay, my reading is going to still suck today, I'm not going to lie, but that's okay. Remember what the Lord said to Moses about you and me when we were at Kadesh Barnea. Caleb asked Joshua, I was 40 years old at the time, and Moses had sent us from Kadesh to spy out of the land of Canaan. I reported what I felt was the truth, but our brothers who went with us frightened the people and discouraged them from entering the promised land. But since I had followed the Lord my God, Moses told me the section of Canaan you were just in shall belong to you and your descendants forever. Now, as you see, from the time until now, the Lord has kept me alive and well all these 45 years since circumcising the wilderness. Oh, since crisscrossing the wilderness. And today I am 85 years old. I am as strong now as I was when Moses sent us on that journey, and I can still travel and fight as well as I could then. So I'm asking that you give me hill country, which the Lord promised me. You will remember that as spies we found the Anakim living there in great walled cities, but if the Lord is with me, I shall drive them out of the land. So Joshua blessed him and gave him Hebron as a permanent inheritance because he had followed the Lord God of Israel. Before that time, Hebron had been called, don't know what that name is, after a great hero of the Anakim, and there was no residence from the local populations as the Israelites, as the Israelis retitled the land, I think. The land given to the tribe of Judah as assigned by Sacred Lot. Joshua's southern boundary began at the northern border of Edom, crossed the wilderness of Zin, and ended at the northern edge of Negeb. More specifically, the boundary began at the south bay of the Salt Sea, ran along the road going south of Mount Ikibrim on into the wilderness of Zin to Hezron, south of Kadesh Barnea, and then up through Karka and Osman until it finally reached the brook of Egypt, and along that to the Mediterranean Sea. The eastern boundary extended along the Salt Sea to the mouth of the Jordan River, I think. The northern boundary began at Bay, where the Jordan River impits into the Salt Sea, crossed by Bethalga, then proceeded north of Beth Arb, whatever that is, to the stone of Boa, son of Reuben. From that point, it went through the valley of Anchor to Debir, where it turned northwest towards blah blah blah. Again, I'm sorry for being disrespectful. I cannot read these words, and it's kind of confusing me. Where it turned northward, opposite the slopes on the south side of the valley. From there, the border extended to the springs on Eshmi, and on the boundary then passed through the valley. Oh my gosh, my guy. Of Hinnom along the southern shoulder of Jubius, where the city of Jerusalem is located. Then west to the top of the mountains above the valley, and on up to the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. From there, the border extended from the top of the mountain, the spring, to the cities of Mount Ephraim before it turned northward, circle, pass through. Okay, I'm low-key, I think, unfortunately, I am just going to skip some of this, because it's literally just explaining places of names that I'm not really trying to keep reading back-to-back over and over again, so I'm going to skip until it actually says, like, some important detail, because I just don't want to keep reading the same names back-to-back over and over and over again, so I'm going to kind of skip over Judah a little bit, or Joshua, which I hope isn't disrespectful, but I cannot read all these. Like, look at this. It's all just a bunch of names that I really can't read. So I'm going to skip over this a little bit because I want to actually read something that's going to, Okay, I'll start on these 2 pages, and then I'll read 2 more. Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea shall be yours, for the Lord your God will drive out all the people living there now, and you will live there instead, just as he had promised. But be very sure to follow all the instructions written in the book of the laws of Moses. Do not derive from them the least little bit. Be sure that you do not mix with the heathen people still remaining in the land. Do not even mention their names of their gods, much less swear by them, nor worship them. But follow the Lord your God just as you have until now. He has driven out great strong nations from before you, and no one has been able to defeat you. Each one of you has put to flight a thousand of the enemy, for the Lord your God fights for you, just as he has promised to, or just as he had promised to. So be very careful to keep on loving him. If you don't, and if you begin to intermarry with the nations among you, you know for certain that the Lord your God will no longer chase those nations from your land. Instead, they will be a snare and to trap you, a pain in your side and a thorn in your eyes. And you will disappear from this good land which the Lord your God has given you. Soon I will be going the way of all the earth. I am going to die. You know very well that God's promises to you have all come true. But as certainly as the Lord has given you the good things he promised, just as certainly he will bring evil upon you if you disobey him. For if you worship other gods, he will completely wipe you out from his good land, which the Lord has given you. His anger will rise hot against you, and you will quickly perish. Then Joshua summoned all the people of Israel to him at whatever that is, along with the leaders and the elders, officers, and judges. So they came to the and presented themselves before God. Sorry about that, I just ate food, so I'm burping a lot. Then Joshua addressed them as follows. The Lord God of Israel says, your ancestors, including Terah, the father of Abraham, and Nuar, lived east of the Euphrates River, and they worshipped other gods. But I took your father Abraham from the land across the river and led him into the land of Canaan. into the land of Canaan, and gave him many descendants through Isaac his son. Isaac's children, whom I gave him, were Jacob and Esau. And to Esau I gave the area around Mount Seir, which Jacob and his children went into Egypt, while Jacob and his children went into Egypt. Then I sent Moses and Aaron to bring terrible plagues upon Egypt, and afterward I brought my people out as free men. But when they arrived at the Red Sea, the Egyptians chased them with chariots and cavalry. Then Israel cried out to me, and I put darkness between them and Egypt and the Egyptians. And I brought the sea crashing in upon the Egyptians, drowning them. You saw what I did. Then Israel lived in the wilderness for many years. Finally, I brought you into the land of the Amorites on the other side of the Jordan. And they fought against you, but I destroyed them and gave you their land. Then King Balak of Moab started a war against Israel and asked Balaam, and he asked Balaam, whatever, the son of Beor, to curse you, but I wouldn't listen to him. Instead, I made him bless you, and so I delivered Israel from him. Then you crossed the Jordan River and came to Jericho. The man of Jericho fought against you, and so did many others, the Perizzites, Canaanites, each in turn fought against you, but I destroyed them all. And I sent hornets ahead of you to drive out the two kings of the Amorites and the people. It was not your swords or bows that brought your victory. I gave you the land, and you had worked for it. And you had not worked for the cities you did not build. These cities where you are now living, I gave you vineyards and oil groves for food, though you did not plant them. So revere Jehovah and serve him in certainty and truth. Put away forever which idols your ancestors worshipped and lived beyond the Euphrates River in Egypt. Worship the Lord alone, but if you are unwilling to obey the Lord, then decide today whom you will obey. Will it be the gods of your ancestors beyond the Euphrates River, or the God of the Amorites here in this land? But as for me and my family, we will serve the Lord. And the people replied, We would never forsake the Lord and worship other gods, for the Lord our God is the one who rescued us, who rescued our fathers from their slavery in the land of Egypt. He is the God who did mighty miracles before the eyes of Israel as we traveled through the wilderness, and preserved us from our enemies when we passed through their land. It was the Lord who drove out the Amorites and the other nations living here in the land. Yes, we chose the Lord, for he alone is our God. But Joshua replied to the people, You can't worship the Lord God, for he is holy and jealous. He will not forgive your rebellions and sins. Rebels and sins, sorry. If you forsake him and worship other gods, he will turn upon you and destroy you, even though he has taken care of you for such a long time. Let me read that again, because I kind of messed up there, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, we choose the Lord, for he alone is our God. But Joshua replied to the people, You can't worship the Lord God, for he is holy and jealous. He will not forgive your rebellion and sins. If you forsake him and worship other gods, he will turn upon you and destroy you, even though he has taken care of you for such a long time. But the people answered, We choose the Lord. You have heard yourselves say it, Joshua said. You have chosen to obey the Lord. They replied, Yes, we are witnesses. All right, he said. Then you must destroy all the idols you now own and must obey the Lord, God of Israel. The people replied to Joshua, Yes, we will worship and obey the Lord alone. So Joshua made a covenant with them that day at Shechim. I don't know what that name is, sorry. Committing them to a permanent and binding contract between themselves and God. Joshua recorded the people's reply in the book of the laws of God and took a huge stone as a reminder and rolled it beneath the oak tree that was beside the tabernacle. Then Joshua said to all the people, "This stone has heard everything the Lord said, so it will be a witness to testify against you if you go back on your word." Then Joshua sent the people away to their own sections of the country. Soon after this he died, at the age of 110. He was buried in his own estate at whatever that is, in the hill country of Ephraim, on the north side of the mountains of Gesha, of Gash. Israel obeyed the Lord throughout the lifetimes of Joshua and the other old men who had previously witnessed these amazing deeds which the Lord had done for Israel. The bones of Joseph, which the people of Israel had brought with them when they left Egypt, were buried in Were buried in what? Were buried in Shechem, in the parcel of the ground which Jacob had bought for 200 from the sons of Hamor. The land was located in the territory assigned to the tribes of Joseph. Eliezer, the son of Aaron, also died. He was buried in the hill country of Ephraim, the city which had been given to his son Pithelius. Again, I'm not too good at reading these names. I'm sorry about that. After Joshua died, the nations of Israel went to the Lord to receive his instructions. Which of the tribes should be the first to go to war against the Canaanites, they inquired. God's answer came, Judah, and I will give them a great victory. The leaders of the tribes of Judah however, asked help from the tribes of Simon. Join us in clearing out the people living in the territory allowed to us, they said, and then we will help you conquer yours. So the army of Simon went with the army of Judah, and the Lord helped them defeat the Canaanites and the Perizzites, so that 10,000 of the enemy were slain. At Bezekah, king escaped, but the Israeli army soon captured him and cut off his thumbs and big toes. I don't know why, but okay. I've treated 70 kings in this same manner, and have fed them to scraps under my table. And have fed them the scraps under my table. King Adoni Bezek said, "Now God has paid me back." He was taken to Jerusalem and died there. Judah had conquered Jerusalem and massacred its people, setting the city on fire. Afterwards, the army of Judah fought the Canaanites in the hill country and in the Negeb, as well as the coastal plains. Then Judah marched against the Canaanites in Hebor, formerly called, don't know that name, destroying the cities, and later they attacked the city of Debar, formerly called whatever that name was. Who will lead the attack against Debir? Caleb challenged them. Whoever conquers it shall have my daughter Eshkiah as his wife. Caleb's nephew, Athene, whatever that name is, son of younger brother, volunteered to lead the attack, and he conquered the city and won Eskisha. I don't know that name. Okay, I'm back. Kind of forgot where I was at, I'm not gonna lie.
That's a metaphor, right? Yes, it is.
As his bride, as they were leaving for their new home, she urged him to ask her father for an additional piece of land. She demanded from her donkey to speak to Caleb about it. She dismounted from her donkey. "What do you wish?" he asked, and she replied, "You have been kind enough to give me land in Negeb, but please give us springs of water too." So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. When the tribe of Judah moved into its new land of Negeb wilderness south of Arad, the descendants of Moses' father-in-law, members of the Canaanite tribe, accompanied them They left their homes in Jericho, the city of palm trees, and the two tribes lived together after that. Afterward, the army of Judah joined Simon's, and they fought the Canaanites at the city of Zephath, I don't know, and massacred all its people. So now the city is named Hormon, meaning massacred. The army of Judah also conquered the city of Gaza, Ashkelon, and Ekron, Ashkelon, and then Ashkor, I don't know. With the surrounding villages, the Lord helped the tribes of Judah exterminate the people of the hill country. Though they failed in their attempts to conquer the people of the valley who had iron chariots, the city of Hebron was given to Caleb, as the Lord had promised. So Caleb drove out the inhabitants of the city. They were descendants of the 3 sons of Anak. The tribes of Benjamin failed to exterminate the Jebusites living in Jerusalem, so they still live there today. Sorry about that, excuse me. Mingled with Israelis. Mingled with Israelis. As for the tribe of Joseph, they attacked the city of Bethel, formerly known as Luz, and the Lord was with them. First they sent scouts who captured a man coming out of the city. They offered to spare his life and that of his family if he would show them the entrance passage through the wall. So he showed them how to get in, and they massacred the entire population except for the man and his family. Later, the man moved to Syria and founded a city there, naming it Luz, as it is still known today. The tribe of failed to drive out the people living in I don't know those names. With their surrounding towns, so the Canaanites stayed there. In the later years, when Israelis were stronger, they put the Canaanites to work as slaves, but never did force them to leave the country. This was also true of the Canaanites living in Gezer. They still live there among the tribes of Ephraim. And the tribe of Zebulun did not massacre the people of Kitron or Nahiola, but made them their slaves. Nor did the tribe of Asher drive out the residents of still live them, Canaanites, originally people of that land, and the tribe of Nathaniel did not drive out the people of Beth-Arsha. So it's kind of going back to just saying a bunch of names that I do not know, so I'm going to kind of skip over all that. One day, the angel of the Lord arrived to coming from Galilee, and announced to the people of Israel, I thought I brought you out of Egypt into this land, which I have promised your ancestors, and I said I would never break my covenant with you. If you on your own part would make no peace treaties with the people living in this land, I told you to destroy their heathen altars. Why have you not obeyed? And now, since you have broken the contract, it is no longer in effect, and I no longer promise to destroy the nations living in your land. Rather, the nations living in your land... Wait, what? Rather, they shall be thorns in your sides, and their gods will be constant temptation to you. The people broke into tears as the angel finished speaking, so the name of that place was called Bochim, meaning the place where the people wept. Then they offered sacrifices to the Lord. When Joshua finally disbanded the armies of Israel, the tribes moved into their new territories and took possession of the land. Joshua, the man of God, died at the age of 110 and was buried at the edge of his property in Tamir, whatever that is, in the hill country of Ephraim, north of the Mount Gesh. The people had remained true to the Lord throughout Joshua's lifetime, and as long afterwards as the old men of his generation were still living. Those who had been seen, those who had seen the mighty miracles the Lord had done for them, for Israel. My reading's kind of getting worse a little bit, but that's okay. It's fine. But finally all the generations had died, and the next generation did not worship Jehovah as their God, and did not care about the mighty miracles he had done for Israel. They did many things which the Lord expressly had expressly forbidden, including the worshipping of heathen gods. They abandoned Jehovah and God loved and worshipped by their ancestors, the God who had brought them out of Egypt. Instead, they were worshipping and bowing low before the idols of the neighboring nations. So the anger of the Lord flamed out against all of Israel. He left them to the mercy of their enemies, for they had departed from Jehovah and were worshipping Baal, the Ashur, whatever, idols. So now, when the nations of Israel went out to battle against its enemies, the Lord blocked their path. He had warned them about this, and in fact, he vowed that he would do it. But when the people were in this terrible plight, the Lord raised up judges to save them from their enemies. Yet even then Israel would not listen to the judges, but broke faith with Jehovah by worshiping other gods instead. How quickly they turned away from the true faith of their ancestors, for they refused to obey God's commands. Each judge rescued the people from Israel from their enemies throughout his lifetime, for the Lord was moved to pity by the groaning of his people under the crushing oppressions. So he helped them as long as that judge lived. But when the judge died, the people turned from doing right and behaved even worse than their ancestors had. They prayed to heathen gods again, throwing themselves to the ground in humble worship. They stubbornly returned to the evil customs of the nations around them. Then the anger of the Lord would flame out against Israel again. He declared, "Because these people have violated this treaty I made with their ancestors, I will no longer drive out the nations left unconquered by Joshua when he died. Instead, I will use these nations to test my people to see whether or not they will obey the Lord as their ancestors did." So the Lord left these nations in the land and did not drive them out, nor let Israel destroy them. Here's the list of the nations the Lord left in the land to test the new generations of Israel, who had not experienced the wars of Canaan, for God wanted to give them opportunity wanted to give opportunity to the youth of Israel to exercise faith and obedience in conquering their enemies. And then again, this just names a couple of the cities that they were trying to conquer. To the entrance. These people were to test the new generation of Israel to see whether they would obey the commandments of the Lord. To obey the commandments the Lord had given them through Moses. So Israel lived among the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Amorites, and Jubileites, but instead of destroying them, the people of Israel intermarried with them. The young men of Israel took their girls as wives, and the Israeli girls married their men. And soon Israel was worshipping their gods. So the people of Israel were very evil in God's sight, for they turned against Jehovah their God and worshipped Baal, the Atherian idol. I don't know that word, I'm sorry. Okay, but I think that's as far as I'm going to go right now. I did skip a couple pages, but I did do 4 pages, so I'm glad that I did that. But we are now on Judges 4 to Judges 5, and I mean, at least from what I can see, I can do a lot better on reading when it's just not a bunch of words that I don't understand, which, fair enough. But I just don't want to keep reading those because that makes me get a little bit upset, and I don't want to do that. I want to be able to read this whole Bible, and I want to be able to understand it, but some of the words I'm just not, I'm not the best at reading yet, so I might come back and do those. I'm not too sure, but we'll see. But for now, that's all I'm going to read. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm debating on if I want to go outside. If I do, I'll make a little video just talking about how I feel today, and then we'll, I'll go on from there. But thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you all, and I appreciate anybody who watched this video. And thank you guys for 20 subscribers. It's not like a big thing at all. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate it, but peace out.